Hello, hello, everybody. We are back here. I'm Chantele from Realnesss with three S's, here to recap the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 11, with my co host, Rachna. How are you, Rachna?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm good. A lot of TV is happening right now,
Yes.
and then also just like other stuff in my life is going on right now too. And so busy, 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 and no sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. So I'm tired.
Yeah.
You too? You're like, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've been working a lot.
Well, we haven't talked about the Housewives in a while, and we're not going to do a full recap of the episodes that we missed. But were there some key points that you might want to touch on before we get into episode 11?
Yeah, I just really hate Diana. That's
I mean, remember before I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, like I was
yeah.
like good cop, you were bad cop, and like you're just like can't stand her. I'm like, oh, we'll give her a chance. I wish I didn't even give her that chance.
Yeah, I think there's something really messy about her, and maybe it's like miscarriage grief stuff that's she's acting out or something. I don't know, but she's just like despicable to me.
Yeah, and it's very funny. There's this one guy that I listen to. His name is Raphael, and he just kind of does like a little rant on the housewives. And whenever he's talking about Diane, he's always like,
Yeah.
and like I never really noticed it before. And I'm like, does she really do that
But
often?
but Rina does it the same.
Rina? I haven't noticed
Yeah.
Rina doing it, but like, and I was like, oh, I watched her yesterday, and I was like, oh, it actually makes me uncomfortable for
Yeah,
whatever
yeah, yeah.
reason. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's what is I don't know what it is. What is that? Is this like a soothing tick like technique? Like some people might like go like suck on their tongue and stuff like that. Like, is it just like a
I
soothing
wonder
thing?
if it's like Rena checking that her like lip pump is like lip
That she's
in
not dry?
does no like does she get her lips filled with something? Like is
I
she
don't know how she
that
does
her
what she
lips
does.
are like plumpy enough? Lip plumper stuff? I don't know.
I don't know.
It
I
yeah,
think it
it's
may
really
have
bad.
been a coping mechanism when she was experiencing some trauma, maybe when she was younger.
Maybe.
And like, it's just kind of like, like rocking. Some kids do that. I know people that like chew on their tongue. Um, she
Yeah,
needs to
I
get
don't
rid
know.
of that because it actually, like, I mean, obviously she must have some sort from if I okay if it's correct that she has some sort of trauma that she's using that licking the lip thing to soothe. I hope that she gets the treatment that she needs to do so, because yeah, I agree with you. These last four episodes, like she is horrifying. Like she's
Yeah.
just so bad,
Yeah.
and the way that she was acting, like with Sutton, like we saw a lot of flashbacks of that. So like it is important for
Yeah.
us to maybe have a touch on, her having the conversation with Sutton at Garcelle's birthday. And yes, Sutton is a little bit quirky at times, but I just like the way that she's coming at her to think that it's okay for her to speak to her that way.
Yeah.
It's actually delusional.
I
Like
think so
just
too. Yeah.
like even to be like, oh, like I wasn't even really hugging you. I was actually just like I went home and I showered and I had to scrub myself. It's like, what?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm also really disgusted by Kyle.
Kyle is so annoying.
Yeah, like she's really
She
like
doesn't see like the big picture. Like she doesn't come in with a good perspective, in my opinion.
no, not at all. Like she's very much on a certain side and reinforces that like it's basically anti Sutton all the time.
It's really annoying and distasteful.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it makes me this episode especially. Well, actually, the last few have made me dislike Kyle even more.
yeah,
Um, so what did you think about Erica? So did we talk? Last one we talked was Shipped Face, I believe. And
yeah.
so, how do you feel about Erica, her drinking, how she was speaking to both of
I mean,
Garcelle's sons?
completely inappropriate. Definitely like treating black men and boys not like they're deserving of any kind of respect or humanity, especially the younger kid who is a boy. Treat him like a boy, treat him like a child. Don't swear at him. Don't
Yeah,
talk to him
like
that way. Like,
the
just so insulting. And yeah, just like the assumption, oh yeah, get your baby mama to DM me. Like, first of all, that's his wife.
right.
Second of all, ain't nobody want to have a threesome with you, Erica.
It's like she's so like I find that people when they're drunk, their true self comes out, right?
Yeah,
And so this is who she really is, and she's disgusting, and like or
yeah,
her actions are, anyways. I
yeah,
don't. I think she must have gone through a lot in her younger life to like become the person that she is right now. So if she get the help that you need, and I won't come for your actions, but like even then when Kyle, like, we'll talk about it more later, but when Kyle's like, oh well, she hasn't like, let loose in so long, I'm so happy for her, and it's like, well, what if like she like hurt somebody or killed like, would you have that same excuse? And
yeah,
what if it was Garcelle that did that? Would you have the same excuse if Garcelle got drunk and said like inappropriate things to your children? Like, it's just the double standard
yeah,
that like all of them, but Kyle and Diana have against Garcelle and Sutton is really makes me uncomfortable and like makes me hate this franchise because they are
yeah,
all kind of shitty.
yeah. I agree. I agree.
But I love Cherie. I think Cherie has been a great addition personally.
Yeah,
It's not just because she's black, but I think that she's seems more level-headed. She seems to have more life experience, and that's kind of what I'm missing from some of these women is that they live in their bubble, which is fine. That's kind of why we're watching the series. But like they're talking about you know social topics and philanthropy and like just but they don't know anything about it, and so I just like I can't stand them.
but don't you think that Garcelle is also pretty level-headed? Like,
Yeah, no, I'm not including Garcelle in
yeah,
here.
but
I
like,
mean, I think that I wish that she would stand up for herself a little bit more at sometimes. I wish that she would put them in their place a little bit more at sometimes. But for the most part, like the only people that I like right now are Sutton and her. And like Sutton actually like was a little bit problematic a couple times this season already, but I still can tolerate her. But
yeah.
everybody else,
How
I'm
do you feel
done.
about Crystal right now?
I don't care for her.
Yeah,
She's okay.
yeah. I feel like she's I don't know what she's contributing this season.
Yeah, like I don't know. The storyline, that I'm not going to really enjoy the storyline. We had it on Real Housewives of New
Seriously.
Jersey. I appreciate people going through things and being willing to speak up about it, and I think it's brave of her to be able to bringing this, to an audience. Absolutely, I think it's really important. But I don't know if I want her to be through her lens, to be hearing
Yeah,
her struggles.
yeah.
Um, anything else happened in these past episodes? Is that it? Was it just Garcelle's party? I guess that was a two-parter.
Yeah.
What else did we miss? I think it's kind of it. I don't know. Well, if we think of something, we can come
There
back to
was
it.
that lunch at Sutton's house too.
Right. Okay. One thing about that lunch is why didn't she put down a carpet so people can not get their shoes muddy?
Well, why did she have it outdoors?
She
Like,
really wanted to have it
how
outdoors.
does she not have a tiled or concrete patio situation outside for this sole purpose?
Well, she's showing like the renovations on her new home.
Yeah,
So
but
I get,
maybe she just hasn't gotten there yet, is what you're saying?
that's what I'm thinking. And that
Yeah,
she
I don't
really
know.
wanted to have it, or maybe the producers forced her to have it before she was ready.
Right.
But no matter what, you could put down like a temporary floor
Yeah. Yeah.
and have like a path from the sidelines, unless it was to on purpose, like for the producers being like, no, let's see them be displaced and have to like wear flip-flops, and maybe it was
Yeah.
part of their plan, maybe,
Yeah.
and like having to give everybody her furs and stuff like
Right.
that, like maybe it was just to show opulence, but
The
like
drama.
they're real people too. They don't want to get mud on their shoes.
Right. Well, or maybe it was that thing that I was like, they woke up and it was raining and it was like not enough notice to get a carpet, or you know what I mean? Like,
There's enough notice to get a carpet in Beverly Hills, I would think.
I don't know. Do you know about supply chain issues right now, Chantel?
No, but I think I could get a carpet. Like get some yoga mats. Like I don't know.
Right.
like
Yeah, I don't
oh,
know either.
like go to I don't know if they have Canadian. I guess they wouldn't have Canadian Tire or a Home Depot or a Lowe's or whatever, and get like a Catan like runner. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, just like a couple runners. Like put the table on something. Anyways, I
Yeah.
just thought it was like silly that this woman is a multimillionaire and she's making them muddy their expensive
Yeah,
shoes.
it's true.
It was just surprising. What's going on with the food chain? Supply chain, sorry.
Oh, and we can't get beer at the restaurant.
Oh,
I mean, there's all kinds of things. Sparkling water. Every day it's a different thing. It's not even just the restaurant. Even if you go to your grocery store, there's like all kinds of things that you can't get right now.
interesting. I haven't noticed.
I went to buy a bathing suit this week, and I was told that there's a shortage of bathing suits because of COVID, like the pandemic. It's because there's a shortage of some elastic thing. So
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I'm being like these Housewives of Beverly Hills, just completely oblivious to what's going on in the world.
I love that for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I had no clue. Well, we have an episode here, in episode 11. It's Weight of the Words, or Weight of, yeah, I must have been at that there. What do you think of this title? Did somebody say it?
I didn't hear anybody say it, but I think it might be alluding to Diana's interpretation of Sutton.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Very
possible.
Is that what you think it is?
Weight of the words. Who said things that could be misconstrued?
Well, yeah, like Diana was saying that Sutton was clumsy, but maybe she's not clumsy. She's just, what she is. But also, I think that Diana was like trying to get away with saying things that were mean, but then she was like, no, I meant those things.
She's the worst. Okay, I'm going to still go on an investigation because I don't know exactly what weight of the words are. I can agree with you for sure, but I'm going to still think about it and see if there was something else that is even more so in alignment with this title.
Sure.
We started the episode with Dorit and FaceTiming Lisa. Everyone apparently has COVID. Well, everyone being Garcelle, Erica. Who's the third person?
Rachna.
Oh, Lisa did. She was having it. Okay, at the same time. So we see Jamie Lee Curtis over at Kyle's place. I thought that was really cool. The fact that they met each other on the set of Halloween, like 35 or so years ago. I thought that was a really cool relationship, like seeing people grow up in that way, but also be in like the Hollywood world. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
What did you think though about Jamie? Like, okay, so Kyle was worried about her gray hair that she just had covered, and then Jamie was just like going over and like just kissing her head. I was just like,
I mean, maybe they have that kind of friendship.
Yeah, I guess.
I know people in my life who are affectionate with their friends like that.
I guess I'm too Aquarius to be like that, but I was just like,
it did seem a little bit over the top for Jamie. Like I was like, what? This is you? A level-headed, rational person. The behavior is, in general, I found the behavior to be like not what I expected of her.
It could be a little bit of a mask because she's on like a show.
Yes.
And she was also promoting her charity that she, I think, began called My Hand in Yours. And so they're going to be throwing a fundraiser. I guess this whole dinner is supposed to be for her charity. And then everybody's going to be getting some gift bags and stuff like that. I mean, I love a good gift bag. And so does Dorit, apparently. So what did I write? Okay, so everybody's showing up. So Diana shows up, Sutton shows up, Crystal, Dorit, everybody's kind of showing up and saying hi to Jamie. Sutton seems to be quite surprised or like happy to see Jamie. Diana, like she's so false to me. like I know that she likes to give off the appearance that she's always around celebrities because she's just so elite. But like you could still give a little bit more. Like it just I don't know. She seems to always want to appear to be in the celebrity gang, if that makes sense. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Are you saying that from seeing her on the show or from her like online presence or like outside of the show
I
presence?
think all of the above because she's a
Yeah.
really big name dropper
Yeah.
and but pretends like I'm gonna name drop this, but it's because like I'm just so cool. You know,
Right.
like it's like
Yeah. I know what
she,
you're saying.
she pretends like she's not fangirling, even though
Yeah.
she's probably fangirling on the inside. Like it's very hard for me to explain, but it just seems false to me. It
I
seems new
agree.
money.
100%. I agree. Yeah.
Like it seems like she's not meant to be there, but like she's pretending like she does because she
Yeah.
has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hi, Jelly. Hi, everyone. Is this the one that John Mellencamp's daughter was on? Yes, Teddy was on this series. Also, oh my God, we get weekend feeds. Yes, we do, Jelly. I'm glad that you're happy that we get feeds. This is for Big Brother. Big Brother. There's something going on in the States with the people that stormed the Capitol. And so
Oh,
there's some hearings that are going on. So Big Brother is not going to be aired this evening. It's going to be aired on Sunday. But we were wondering if we were going to lose the live feeds for the whole weekend because some outcomes that we would have known today, we wouldn't know till Sunday. So we thought that they might withhold the live feeds from us because they like to keep their episodes sacred. But they're not, which is great. So Kyle, like, excuse me, putting Sutton next to Diana, like, get out of here.
do you think she did that on purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
She did it on purpose because she wants to have her events to have them some drama so that she can stay on the damn show.
Yeah. But I heard that she's off the show. Like I heard that she wants to be off the show because her producer is leaving.
I highly doubt that. This has been like 11 years that she's been on the damn show.
I know, but also her and her husband have signed a deal with Netflix. I've also heard that.
What's the deal for?
I don't know. I just heard they signed a deal.
Does she have like, do you think that she's going to have the audience if they do a reality show?
I think so. I think she would. I mean, I'd watch it just because I'm curious about her kids, but maybe I'd watch like 2 episodes and then give up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find her to be that interesting to want a sole show on her. Maybe
Oh,
if like Paris was in there, like if all of her family was a part of it, like
if he was in, I'd be watching it.
Kathy, I have a problem with Kathy this episode, but we'll get to that. I wonder if you noticed the same thing that I did. So Cherie is also at this party and she's sitting down. Kyle does change the table placements. And so Sutton is no longer sitting next to Diana and Cherie's eyelash is coming out. So she asks Sutton whether or not she has some eyelash glue. She says yes. Next thing you know, we see Sutton trying to put this lash glue onto Cherie and a big glob comes out and I really laughed at this moment. I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was endearing. Like, I thought it was really like a kind of like friends. Like, I really like this moment. But then Jamie Lee Curtis comes over and saves the day and she fixes her lashes. Did you agree with this moment? Like, I thought it was cute.
I thought it was really cute too. Yeah. I thought it was cute.
Definitely laughed. I definitely was like, and Sutton, of course, Sutton is gonna mess this up, and I'm sure that like Diana was just like seething. You know, it's all about Sutton.
Oh, she was like she made she like made some kind of facial gesture to, I think, Dorit that was like, oh, of course Sutton messed this up and made a mess of it.
And then messy Dorit in a way that I do not care for. Like,
is she like on drugs?
I heard you had a lunch with Sutton.
Yeah,
like we get your whispering.
This episode,
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. It was too much for me.
I'm like,
all of it from start to finish. It was way too much.
How was it? Just terrible. I had to go home and like shower after it. Just, oh, like get out of here. Get some acting lessons. Like, like not good. Like super annoying. And Like Diana is so annoyingly over the top about like her response to Sutton. It's not normal to me.
No,
Like
it's absolutely not normal.
well, so Jamie is going through all the items of the gift bag, and Sutton again. Well, maybe this is where you were asking if she was on something, but like everything. Oh, I'm obsessed with that. Oh, it's so chic, and it's like
None of the items were chic. Not one
like
of them was a chic
a
item.
water bottle. Like, ooh, I've never seen a wind chime so chic. I
Oh,
mean,
that was
they weren't that they weren't pretty. They were pretty chic, with like kind of like a black slate metal. I thought it was they were quite nice, but everything else is like pretty normal.
yeah, I think so too. I mean, nothing with a big like logo like that is chic, first of all, in my opinion.
Fair.
Even if it is a
So,
charitable logo.
um, yeah, it's definitely not chic and definitely not worthy of every piece in that gift bag. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
ooh, oh. Um, so Kyle has a fund, and I was trying to figure out. So Kyle has a fund within Jamie Lee Curtis's foundation. Is that how that worked?
No, I think within the hospital, the two of them have a fund together.
Oh, so then why did Diana, while I roll my eyes here, make a $25,000 donation to Kyle? Like, why did Kyle bring up her charity when I thought this was all supposed to be for Jamie Lee Curtis?
Because I think it is for Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that all of the money raised from this company goes to the same fund.
So,
So I think because there's some new campaign. They said something about building a new wing or whatever. This is like Kyle kickstarting it with
so
that.
it kind of all helps within each other.
I think so, yeah. And then Diana matched it because she's Diana.
Like Diana matched it, and I was like, Sutton, don't be tempted to
Yeah.
one up it, please don't. I just don't
Yes.
want her to think that like you are using charity to something. So I was like, please don't match it, and please don't top it. Like, please don't. Like, and if you do it like on the DL,
I
like
agree.
and not. So I was very happy that she didn't do it because I was worried that she was going
Yeah,
to.
I was expecting that. I was expecting someone else to do the same thing, and I was like, please let it not be Sutton.
Agreed. So we see Kyle and Diana speaking to Crystal about trigger warning here. We're going to talk a little bit about eating disorders. And so, they're trying to get an understanding of like what Crystal goes through and whatnot. And I don't know from experience like what that is like, and I'm sure that it's very hard. Did she mention if she's getting help with it?
No, she's not.
I think that would be an important step because she does mention that she's worried that she's going to pass on some of these habits onto her children unknowingly. And if she doesn't want that to happen, I think she needs to speak to a professional about it. Definitely not these women.
Yeah. And she also talked about how she's tired of like the constant mental battle of eating and then feeling guilt, or how she feels in her body. I think, yeah, she definitely needs help. And, I think Kyle said Crystal's post on Instagram about the eating disorder is a call for help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that I agree with that because I think it's good to speak about these issues
Awareness.
publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we shouldn't be hiding them inside of us. But
I mean, I can see how it could be a cry for help. I think
yeah,
it was
absolutely.
also for her to hold herself accountable because more
Yeah.
people are going to be acknowledging that and being concerned for her and wanting to make sure that she's okay. So it could be an opportunity to start maybe going into the direction of healing and getting well in that
Yeah.
area.
And I think it's good that Kyle asked her all those questions because if no one's asking you those questions, how are you getting to the like core of the issue? Or
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And she kind of mentions, and we see some photos that it stemmed from childhood, from her being the tallest and, in the back middle. And that was my plight too growing up. I was definitely the tallest, and then I stopped growing
Totally.
when I was 12. But yeah, I could totally understand that. And I definitely, like, I was tiny, but like always felt like I was a lot bigger than people, especially in ballet and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I understand some of the struggles that she might have gone through, but it didn't manifest in me with an eating disorder that I'm aware of, anyways. So she really feels like being in her body sucks, and that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because she does seemingly have a really great life, and so to not being able to fully enjoy it because you're having this inner battle, I hope she gets the help that she needs, because it's it's hard to watch. I know that she's helping a lot of people by bringing this issue to the forefront, but I also want her to get the help she needs as well, because I think that that's also important to see people heal from it.
Yeah, I agree. And especially because I think also, like, of all the women, I feel like she's one of the um, consistently, she is one of the most well put together women, like in terms of her outfit and her appearance. Like, she always looks very good, I think,
Hmm, hmm.
and also very appropriate for the function. And she's not just like slapping on a dress with LV all over it and then a coat with LV all over it. You know what I mean? She's wearing fine, like really well curated outfits.
Hmm.
Um, and it's not like she's got the funds that Diana has to hire like a stylist and all of that stuff. Like, she's not.
I
She
mean, she
doesn't.
probably does, but she's not showboaty like
Yeah,
Diana.
yeah. Maybe she does, and she's not using it. I don't know. We don't see her entourage, for example.
She doesn't have one. Yeah, she said
Yeah,
she does her.
she's
She's like, I
doing
can
it
do my own
herself.
make. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like for someone who was that good looking, and I know it's really got nothing to do with her eating disorder, like, yeah, it's unfortunate that she can't enjoy how good she looks as much as the audience can.
Absolutely, and her children can,
Yeah.
and so it would be nice that if she could be able to see her through the eyes of everybody else
Yeah.
properly without it being distorted.
Yes.
So while that conversation's happening, Sutton is speaking with Dorit and Cherie, and Cherie does point out something, like being like, "What's going on? Like, there's always something going on with you, Sutton." And she's like, "Well, I speak my mind." And Cherie's like, "Well, how's that working for you?" And Sutton's kind of realizing that she could be a little bit to blame, or part of the problem, with not being able to communicate well with Diana. I felt, though, I really understood where Sutton was coming from with the conversation with Diana. How did you feel, though, with her starting that conversation with being like, "Well, I thought that you weren't coming because you were on bed rest, and now you're here." What do you think about her bringing that up to Diana?
I mean, I think it's a valid question. Um, Maybe Sutton should not have been the one to ask that question, though, just based on their history. Um,
But I also thought it was rude, sorry to interject, but
no, go ahead.
because she didn't even tell Garcelle that she was coming and not coming. I think that, like, all that happened, like,
Yeah,
without even informing the guest of honor and the host.
yeah. Like, what was the point of you sending that group text message about Garcelle's party if you showed up anyway? Like, I think Sutton had the best of intention. I just think that conversation went really off the rails very fast. And
I'd rather see Kyle back on the dance floor doing the splits than coming to mediate that conversation, because
yeah, yes, she made it worse. She made it worse. And it's unfortunate that also both Kyle and Diana completely ignored what Sutton was saying, which is that she's also had a miscarriage and understands what that's like.
yeah, and she's just like, "I'm sorry, like, I've had to, like, I know, like,
Yeah,
I can empathize with you here,
yeah.
like." And then to be like, "You're disgusting. How you're one upping me up?" Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
have you never had anybody relate to you with something maybe horrific that you're going through?
Yeah. And
Like,
I think Diana just doesn't want to have any kind of connection with, well, maybe now she does, but with Sutton. And I think Kyle loves that.
Because Sutton's the richest. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I would think Sutton would be fun to have around.
Oh, me
Like,
too.
she's just such a hoot. Like,
I love
literally.
that she doesn't censor herself.
And I don't even, she's not even that bad.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
They're so sensitive in like weird ways. So they all rejoin. They rejoin Cherie, Sutton, and Dorit. So everybody's all back together. And Diana, like, so this is. I don't want to say that she didn't go through what she went through. I don't know if that's the case, but it seems very convenient that she gets to passively aggressively explain why she was acting the way that she was, like as if like they should have known this and they should have, like the how she explained what she had been going through to me seems like a way to absolve herself from any responsibility with how nasty she was being to Sutton.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I'm also confused about the timeline because she had this miscarriage 12 weeks ago, right?
I believe so, because didn't she just have it when somebody came over to her house? I think it was Kyle. And it wasn't like, it was like, I think it was a little bit worse than a miscarriage from what she explained, but
like, why was she still bleeding after Mexico?
I mean,
Like,
maybe because it was past like it was later stages of pregnancy. Like it was past it wasn't like 8 weeks.
no, I know, but like, okay, if I have a miscarriage today, am I going to be bleeding from the miscarriage in 12 weeks?
I mean, I
or
don't know.
or 6 weeks or 8 weeks? Like it, yeah, I don't know either. Um, but I guess I'm confused because I don't know. Like she's saying that she had this miscarriage, and then when they were in Mexico, she had tequila, and that made her start to bleed again on the plane, and that's when this other downward. That's when she went on to bed rest. So it's just not something about it. I'm just like, this is a little bit, yeah, what you said, convenient to excuse her behavior.
Right. And like, I'm not saying that she didn't go through what she went through.
Yes.
I think that she's kind of misconstruing some of the facts in order for it to support her actions. And, it's like, oh, so when she was on the plane, when she was unnecessarily rude to Sutton, oh, that's the reason why she was acting that way. Oh, when she wanted to still feel part of the group and like didn't want to be on bed rest and reliving these nightmares and these moments. That's why she came to the party.
Yeah.
Like, well, why didn't you just say that when Sutton was like, I just think it's a little like strange. Like, if
Yeah.
you're supposed to be on bed rest, I want you to be well and be on bed rest. Like, did something happen? You sent this text message out. Like, she didn't come across like super genuine and kind when she was asking her about it. But if someone did that to me, be like, no, like, I get where you're coming from. My doctor did put me to bed rest, but like I just didn't want to be at home because it was triggering me and I was getting too sad.
But she also behaved like she was so much better than that party. Like the minute she walked in, she was like, "What the hell is this kind of attitude?" And did you get that sense too? It's like
She's always like that. Is that
you
what
don't
when she's
really.
also saying that she had like a $200,000 purse that she like brought to the
Yes, the
party?
diamond. Oh my god.
She's so bad.
Oh, it's so
Like,
tacky.
and it's like, I don't even want to be in a party with her. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be
Yeah.
Garcelle is probably the best party that I've seen on the Housewives in a while. Like,
Yeah.
look at Kyle dancing and doing the splits and like being like super silly and inappropriate, like in a funny way. That looked like a fun party. Most of the parties on
Yeah.
the show are boring.
Yeah.
Boring, 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 boring. So I wonder though if this is why Diana, she kind of accepted Sutton's apology because they went for lunch and she didn't accept her apology at all. Like that was also, did I not write that down? that was this episode, right? Oh no, it was the episode
Well,
before.
that was last episode. Yeah,
Okay.
and she was basically like, "You're phony, and I was being phony, and I don't like you, and you're a piece of shit," basically.
But
And
like,
I'm really glad that Sutton was like, "I'm not apologizing anymore."
well, and just like how she's just being there, like, I think you're disgusting. I think you're rude. I think you're, and it's like, and the face and the look that she has on, I thought she looked terrible. Sorry, don't wear hats. Like, you don't. It's not a cute look for you, in my opinion. And just like I wanted Sutton just to stick it to her and be like, you can pay. This wasn't fun. But
Yeah,
like, I'm sure she paid when she left. But I, that conversation when Sutton was just like really being like, can we get past this? And she's like, no, well, if I did that, like, I would be lying. So it's
yeah,
like, well, then get off the show.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. I don't need you
yeah,
at all.
yeah. I mean, I think she is a one season wonder. Like I don't think she's gonna be back.
So Sutton makes an apology and Diana seems to accept it. And I think that how Sutton did it, she's like, you don't need to apologize to me now. If you
Yeah,
want to later, the door is open. I am here. If we could just be civil, like that's all I want. I'm very sorry that 95% of what sideways was my responsibility and my fault. I take responsibility for that. And I apologize for everything that blah, blah, blah. And so I thought it was a good apology. And I like that she did it in front of everybody, and because it forced Diana to have to accept it. Because, like, if Sutton's doing exactly what people keep on saying for her to do, like, even I was also annoyed with Erica, like, saying to Sutton that she needed to go and talk to Diana. It's
oh
like,
yeah,
shut up, Erica.
yeah, yeah,
Like, you should talk to her. Like, we'll keep trying. Why does she need to keep trying? Like, why does she need to be friends with Diana? She's terrible.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I was really impressed with how Diana reacted to. Well, I don't know if impressed is the right word, but like surprised, because I thought she accepted what Sutton said quite graciously, and I wasn't
Well,
expecting that.
but it had
I
like a
think that's the
face
most
on.
gracious she's been all season.
I think that she was doing it because she was in front of people.
But she had to, yeah,
Because she kind of had like, if my picking up, signs of people's facial expressions, she kind of had like a, I don't really want to fucking do this, but I'm going to.
yeah.
Like, it just, there's a little bit of a defiance, it felt like,
Mhm.
with accepting it. And be like, well, like, fine, like, I accept your apology. That was very nice.
Yeah,
But Sutton has made similar apologies in the past where she's like, you're disgusting. I don't believe a word that you said. And
yeah,
so I think it was phony, but I was surprised that she accepted it. But I think it's because she told that story to look like she was the victim. And then, even though she's had her things, but like just to make it a little bit different perspective as to why she
hmm
was acting a certain way.
hmm
And then when Sutton apologized, I think that she felt that she had to, or
hmm
else she would look like a bad person.
I mean, that's never stopped her in the past, though. Like,
In front of people like this, though, when Sutton is clearly apologizing in a nice way where
yeah,
nobody
maybe
can,
in a group setting, yeah,
like, I think if it was one-on-one, I don't think she would have accepted it at
yeah.
all.
I think you're right. Yeah,
All right, so we see Lisa FaceTiming Erica again. Erica now has COVID, and she's getting over it. They talk about the LA Magazine article about her and her life, and I was like, I need to find that article. The same story, they called me ambitious. Like, why is it so bad for me to be ambitious? It's like, well, there's ambition and then there's doing things that are illegal
really?
and really unkind and inhumane, because you want to level up. But I digress. And so she's like, this is the same law school and they're always dehumanizing me. Did I say law school? I meant lawsuit if I didn't say lawsuit.
You said law school, but you meant lawsuit.
Yeah, yeah, lawsuit. And so she's like, they're always dehumanizing me. She dehumanizes herself, because when we were watching her on the season, every time they asked, like, do you even care about the victims? She never,
Yeah,
ever cared. She never cared about the possibility that people were hurt by the actions of the people in her close circle.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't even respond to the fact that she could have been benefiting for years off the deaths of family, like the death of people in their families. Like, yeah, it is a little bit inhumane, the fact that she did not shed I would be bawling if I knew that my husband had stolen millions of dollars from plane crash victims.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
be devastated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most people would be too.
And so, sorry, you're dehumanized because you're not acting like a human in
Yeah,
this moment.
absolutely. Yeah.
Erica, oh my god,
Yeah.
she's a disaster.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but then she also said she cannot divorce Tom because she doesn't want to pay him alimony. Like, see, this is all it seems like such a scam. You
Yeah.
know, like, oh, so convenient. You and Tom were having a horrible marriage right before he's about to get sued. And so then we remember all those stories that happened, and the spinning on the snow in California 6 times, and falling off a cliff, breaking his leg, and also head injury, like all that stuff that was happening. Now I
Yeah.
had to get a divorce from Tom. I never had a credit card. I don't know what my money was going. All the money that I made from the show is going to Tom.
Yeah.
Now we have to get a divorce because we've been living separate lives for so many years. And then Tom now has dementia. He needs to have he's in a home now and needs to have a conservatorship to be able to handle his estate. And now she also doesn't want to divorce him because she doesn't want to pay him alimony. This is all fishy.
Yeah, it really is.
And the fact that she thinks that she's getting away with being like slick, it's like, you're not slick, Erica.
She's not. Yeah, she's not
at all. But it's interesting that she tries. So Asher and Diana over at Diana's house are going to be having a Christmas party. They're there with their party planner. They're walking around. I mean, she does have a nice house. I'm not going to lie. Diana's house is
it's not
nice.
my favorite of all of theirs.
Who's your favorite?
I think I like Sutton's new house.
Oh, the Sutton's nice.
Like, I wanna see it fully done, but I think that might be my favorite. I think I even like I definitely love Kathy's house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen that Architectural Digest video that was referenced in this episode, and I loved it.
Speaking of Kathy's house, what did you think about the fact that she invited Kyle over for lunch and literally threw a baked potato on a table or on a plate? They cut it open, put sour cream and caviar in it. Would that go on the menu at your restaurant?
I don't work at a restaurant where caviar is a thing. We're not that bougie. I have worked at restaurants where caviar is a thing, and people enjoyed it, but as like a opening course, like a pre-appetizer, not like a main thing. I mean, there was a lot of caviar on that potato.
It's a lot of caviar on so the caviar makes the potato. Like, I was just looking, I'm like, that's what you're like, that's how you're serving your baked potato. Like, it was very shocking to me.
Look, maybe she's one of these women who just has a baked potato for lunch every day, and on a regular day it will be like a little bit of butter, salt and pepper, maybe some like kale. But today she's like, my sister's coming over for lunch. I'm going to do it a little bit extra with the caviar and the sour cream. I don't know. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Well, if you had Paula, the lady that works for me,
yeah,
wouldn't you get her to cook something of her own heritage? Like, it's something that she could cook. Like, baked potatoes, not tasty.
No, but the thing is, I think there are a group of women who eat baked potatoes for lunch because they're conscious of their weight and they're conscious of whatever else they're trying to manage. And for them, in the winter, maybe a salad's not appropriate because it's cold. They want a baked potato. I'm not saying it would be something I serve, but I'm saying I believe that that's what Kathy Hilton has for lunch.
Well, Kyle was even surprised by it. She's like, so is this it? Is this like the main course? She's like, you called me over for lunch and you gave me a baked potato?
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious.
Obviously, it's funny. It's hilarious. But I would be pissed to go over to my super rich sister's house for lunch and have to eat a baked potato.
With caviar. You're eating
With caviar, sure, but like I like more interesting foods. I
Yeah.
don't like. I'm not a. Like, there's a lot of people that just love potatoes and fries and stuff like that. I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
Also, so just like potatoes, I'd just be like, okay, that's boring.
Yeah, I'm not a
So
caviar person, so I
I've
would.
actually don't think I've ever had caviar other than like fine fish roe from regular
Yeah.
sushi.
No, I have, and it was fine, but it's not like.
What's so exciting about it? Is it similar to like how flying fish roe is? Like I really don't like the big orange
Yeah.
roe. I
Yeah.
find those to be I just like in my head I just think about what it is and it kind of grosses me out.
Yeah.
But
It. So I don't personally understand. Like I have eaten very good caviar, very good quality caviar. I personally don't understand the appeal. I think it's something that like rich people do to show how rich they are. Personally, like
and it's actually just doesn't actually taste good, but it's just for the fact that like a can of beluga caviar is
well, the thing is, it
whatever
doesn't taste bad, but no one's eating caviar on their own. They're eating it with
a cracker.
some kind of bready base and then some kind of um like when I worked at a bougie Italian restaurant, we served it with these chickpea fritters and stracciatella cheese. If I remember correctly, so there was like that creamy texture, and then these chickpea fritter things that were really delicious that I used to like eating on their own. So it's like caviar plus all these other things. I don't know. I feel like if it was as good, it's not in like oysters. You want them on their own,
Hmm.
or like
With the little mignonettes, I like a
yeah,
good
yeah,
mignonette.
exactly. Yeah, but you're not like putting an oyster on a piece of bread with cream cheese or anything like that.
Ew. I mean, I've never had like oysters Rockefeller or anything like that. So yeah,
Me
I've never
neither.
had like a stuffed or loaded oyster. I've only had them raw. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get into the caviar train, but I'm sure I'll try it like properly eventually.
There are certain things like expensive wine is the same. It's like I just feel like it's goes against some of my values to like buy
Well,
these things
expensive
because
wine, I understand a little bit.
yes,
When it's like a rare vintage or
sure,
something very
sure,
interesting happened with the land and stuff like that.
sure.
Sometimes the story and the lore of how these bottles
Yes,
were created, like, makes me understand the pricing.
yes,
Um, I don't like is the reason why some of these caviars are that expensive is because it's harder to find, or like
yeah,
is yeah, okay.
yeah. I think that's it. It's like it's I think it's harder to find because the fish are only found in certain region, like these beluga or whatever, like they're only found in smaller, like certain regions in the world. um the better quality ones, I don't think they're farmed. I think that's part of it,
Hmm.
and I understand why it's so expensive, but for me it's like, am I going to enjoy a $500 bottle of wine that much more than a $100 bottle of wine, that it justifies that money? As
Okay, I have a
like a
story.
trained wine professional who, like, I know a lot about wine, I really have like a problem spending that much more money on wine.
When you can find a great bottle for a decent price.
Yeah, like I just feel like those bottles are not for me. Like somebody else, collectors or people who, for me, for somebody who spends $500 the way I spend $100, that's great. But for me, the enjoyment factor is not multiplied enough to justify.
Gotcha.
But also, I've never had a $500 bottle of wine or a $2,000 bottle of wine. So
I have, and it's enjoyable, but it's not that much more enjoyable. You know what I mean?
exactly.
I was once, oh my God, I got into a huge fight with this customer who was ordering $500 bottles of wine. He was telling me this story, actually, yeah, telling me the story about how he went out for dinner and he was ordering $500 bottles of wine. So he ordered five of them, and the bill was just for the wine alone was $2,500. And he's like, like, I don't think that it's appropriate to tip 20% on like the wine. And so he's like, I feel like opening a bottle
No.
of wine is to like a $25 tip. And so I don't even know if it was each bottle. I think he tipped $25 on $2,500 because he felt that the tipping, like the opening the bottle of wine, was a $25 action.
But you're not. Were you also pouring the wine?
I mean, this person, this wasn't me. He was telling me the story. I remember
Oh, okay.
I was working at a bar, and he was telling me this, and I was like, I was educating him. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's horrifying.
The person, the person that opened those bottles of wine for you, they probably had to go into their bank account
Yeah.
and take out money for you to be an asshole, show off that you have all this money to be able to spend on this bottle of wine, and then not tip them on the service. Like, they were probably so excited, like, oh my God, I'm gonna make $500 on this table. Like wow, like I'm so lucky. And then probably have to go. I mean, I'm sure that the restaurant or the company would have been like, okay, like clearly you didn't do bad service. Like, he's just an asshole. And they probably wouldn't have made her tip out on that. But generally speaking, there's a tip out automatically on everything that you sell at a restaurant. And whether or not you make that in gratuity or not, you still have to pay up. And so I was furious at somebody that was once doing those $500 bottle things. I'm sure that happens often with these big, expensive bottles, because it's like they don't see, they don't understand that people are tipping out on the entire cost of it. They think that, oh, well, like, a normal bottle is $25, so I'll give you $25 for opening that bottle. Man.
But also, like, forget about the tipping out part. It's like that server probably also helped the guest decide what wine to get and has that knowledge. And then the server had to go find the bottle. Like, those bottles are not
decant it probably. Yeah.
Exactly. Do the actual wine service. Like, that is a lot of labor that deserves to be paid for.
And also taking their time away from other tables, potentially.
Yes, that infuriates me. Like, of all the things, you should be definitely tipping out on wine service, tipping properly on wine service.
Absolutely. And if you
really
can't afford to tip, then don't order $500 bottles of wine.
Yeah. And also don't feel like you have the moral upper hand on deciding whether somebody gets to be paid or not. Like, if you're going to a restaurant, tip at least 20%, tip properly on everything.
Even if your service sucks. Like,
yes.
Because it's usually not their fault.
Yeah. Servers still get to be paid. And it's not just servers, it's like the support staff in the kitchen and everybody, the whole team gets tipped.
It was really, really infuriating. And I remember being like, you're a fucking asshole. Like, he was the worst. So we get sorry, you were saying the other houses that you like. Well, like you.
I think I like Kyle's better.
I don't like the outside of Kyle's. It's a little bit too ho-hum for me.
Well, the thing is, I think I like ho-hum. I think Diana's house is a little bit too, and the same with Dorit's, a little bit too, like, cold and sterile looking for me. Like, I like how Kathy has, 500 kinds of prints and fabrics in her living room. I love that shit. Maybe I don't need as many cushions, but I like how embellished those rooms are.
Yes, I mean they're all like done and they look nice. I guess I like things maybe a little bit cooler. Like, I don't want it to like, I either want it to be cool or I want it to be kind of gaudy. And so some of them are not, they're kind of not gaudy enough for me to be like, oh, like I want it to look like Louis the 17th, like all gold and like Liberace, like, I wanted it to be like that, or maybe a little bit more minimalistic. So
well, the thing is also, for how much money Diana claims to have, she has a pretty small plot of land, right?
Can't tell how big her place is.
Are we just not seeing it? Because for that party, they were working in a pretty small area, it seemed. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like it's bigger, that we just haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Actually, I want to ask you something while we're talking about Diana. How do you feel about the fact that, like, now that we know that her son's daughter is a person of color, maybe she's Black, do you have feelings about that?
I was definitely watching everything that was happening at that house. So what, I think it was before the part, there was still, was that the prep? So before the party, we see like her son was there with the girlfriend, and when she got up to go get pizza and stuff like that, like I was wondering if she was going to be like just like looking at her and staring at what she was doing. The daughter seemed to feel kind of comfortable, but maybe they've been
Yeah.
dating for a long time. But I feel as though Diana wants it to appear like she's easygoing and that she loves everybody and everybody's welcome. But there was, in my opinion, an air of superiority with the
Yeah.
girlfriend.
So do you feel like the girlfriend and the son are on this show,
Oh, to make her look right.
especially after everything has come to light in social media?
100%.
Yeah,
Now, well, this would have been filmed before all this new stuff came up,
I know,
but
but maybe she's aware of her own biases, and yeah.
just put it in there because she knows things might come up.
Well,
Hi, DM Rocks. Thanks for
or
being
even if
here.
she's not aware of herself, she knows that maybe there's some cultural cachet in showing that she has a person of color in her like close,
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of
other than
like
staff who are all seemingly Asian, like her stylist and whatever.
well, it's kind of reminds me of AbFab when like they wanted to get a mixed baby because like it's so in vogue and so great for their like
No, but that was like the
their
90s or
image.
the 80s or
I know,
whatever.
but like it's the
Yes,
same type of
yes,
thing,
yes,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah,
Like she would maybe like adopt a black child, you know,
right.
to make it seem as though she's inclusive.
Yeah.
So we love Cherie as well over here,
Yes,
DM
we
Rocks.
do.
Thank you.
IDM rocks.
So we hear that Dorit tested positive, so I was like, great, that means she's not going to be at the party. Phew. We see Lisa's in glam, and then so that's when we see Diana's son and daughter, and I definitely. Oh, this is at the party actually. So her daughter, who she talks to about a lot, um, and I find it interesting that her daughter is overseas, and like that she's not a part of this whole show jumping world that she's in. Just like I would feel like that would be something that you'd want to be doing with your mother, but or maybe her mother's really ambitious and want to go to, you know, LA so that she can, you know, flaunt her wealth.
So this is what I don't understand. Like her kids have American accents, so they were clearly raised in the States. No?
Mm-hmm.
So then what I don't like where was she before LA? I'm confused.
I thought it was England, but maybe they went to school in
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, what is she's doing show jumping? That's a very British thing.
That's what I mean. Her dad is British, like or Scottish or whatever. Like we know he's
Yeah,
yeah.
from the
But I
United
mean
Kingdom.
there's American girls who do show jumping and South American girls who do show jumping, like, you know.
Sure, but I just don't know how she got into it necessarily if she wasn't living there. It seems. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crystal is not my favorite, but Erica was so rude to her about, oh my God, yes, we're getting to that
Yeah,
point.
we're gonna get
But
there.
so everyone arrives at the party, they're getting drinks. Kathy Hilton arrives, and I was like, okay, Kathy's here. And I want to show you this clip, and I want you to tell me. I can't pull it up on my computer for whatever reason. It's not working for me. But this clip sent me because I thought it was bad. Did you notice anything?
I have no idea what you're gonna show me. It might
Okay.
have been when I was like cracking my eggs.
Okay. Oh shoot, hold on. Let me just take this off because it's attached to my speaker. So you can hear what's going on. Oh my God. Oh, stop. Okay. Do you see that?
The way she pulled away?
Like to me, that
Oh
felt
yeah.
like she pulled away because she realized that she was black. That's what it looked like to me. Okay.
But
And like
there's
the
a
poor
link.
girl, she
Is there a
like
linger there?
what do you mean?
Like, do they linger with their hands touching for a couple of seconds first? Maybe there's a delay on the video. I
There's
didn't
no,
notice
I
that
don't
though
think there's a
because I
delay on
actually
the.
wasn't looking at at watching the video in that moment.
She notices and then she pulls her hand away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was weird.
And the poor girl, I felt that she felt uncomfortable. I know she's like, oh, COVID, like I should be wary. And then you see her going around kissing everybody else. It,
Yeah,
it was very interesting to me that she was the only person that
that
seemed
she
to, oh, I need to make sure that I don't touch you.
right. Yeah, that's harmful.
I felt uncomfortable for the poor girlfriend.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't think it was great at all. DM Rock says, did you hear the rumor that Cynthia Bailey might join Beverly Hills? She's not
Wait,
interesting.
who's Cynthia Bailey?
She was on Housewives of Atlanta for many years.
Oh, okay.
She was also just recently on Celebrity Big Brother.
Has she moved to Beverly Hills?
I don't know, but she was on the first Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. She's
Oh, okay.
boring. She's boring. I don't care for her to be on it, but no, I don't want her to be on it actually at all. She's not interesting enough for me. She's beautiful. She's to be a model. But what she's brought so far to me is not that enough. She's
Okay.
not. So, Garcelle, this is something though. I thought that maybe this could have been the weight of the words because Garcelle did say to Crystal, "Oh, you look skinny."
Oh, yes. Okay, that was really not okay for me.
I was like, Garcelle,
Yeah.
especially. I was thinking that she didn't know that Crystal had an eating disorder, and that's why she said that because it's kind of common in our society to comment on people's weight as a compliment. And so I thought that she was just making a kind of just like a social error here.
Yeah.
But then coming in and Erica's coming in, and so then Garcelle was kind of defending Crystal and her eating disorder with what Erica was saying and asking her. And so I'm like, wait, Garcelle, you know she has an eating disorder, but you said like you look skinny. Just take the compliment.
Yeah, that's
In a kind of flippant way. I was like,
no. Like, I don't understand why these women don't get it. Like, I really don't.
and then how Erica is asking about what she goes through. And like, was Erica trying to get tips or give tips? Because she was saying that she doesn't like to purge or purge. Yeah. But she likes to use laxatives. And I'm like, you don't tell someone that is experiencing an eating disorder other ways to
No.
like.
No, it's just all wrong. It's all off.
It was I was uncomfortable by the situation.
Yeah.
It also appeared that Erica was a little bit tipsy at this point. And so I'm wondering if that is going to become an issue because Garcelle has an issue with Erica's drinking.
Yeah.
And every time she brings anything up as in just concern, like Kyle just shuts it down. It's like, oh, and that's where the weight of the words was. That's where it was. Because Kyle was like the weight of the words with like her sister and things that she's been through in her life and stuff like that. And so she thought that it was maybe harmful to say that maybe she has a problem with alcohol. So I think that's where it was actually. Where it was said.
Okay.
I think so. So yeah, Erica continues to talk to Crystal about like the eating disorder and all that. And I'm like, it's not being helpful in my opinion.
No.
At this party to be talking about this and in a way that like you're not a counselor, you seem like someone that might have your own like issues with eating and food and image and stuff like that. So I thought it was quite a harmful moment in general.
I agree.
Yeah. So DM Rock says off topic, but do you watch Orange County Housewives because Tamara's back? I did hear that Tamara's back. I'm behind, but I've been watching a bit of Ultimate Girls Trip, the Berkshires. So yes, I do know that Tamara is going to be back. I do. I think that's it for the episode, unless I stop taking notes. Was there anything else that we missed?
No, I think it's a to be continued. So I think
Right. It does. It was.
yeah,
It was.
yeah,
It was. Well, is there
yeah.
anything else you want
Like
to talk about? Go ahead.
it's never okay to comment on someone's body as a former skinny girl. It's not. It's sometimes not what people want in their lives. Sometimes it's you're skinny because you have no other. Like you literally can't put weight on. You don't want to be that skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that commenting on like commenting on especially women's bodies is not appropriate.
A little
Yeah.
problematic.
It's okay to say like you look great, but
Mm-hmm.
to comment on their weight is, I feel,
It's not necessarily a compliment, even if you think it is.
Exactly.
Especially knowing that Crystal has food eating issues. Like she doesn't think that she looks that good, and she definitely doesn't want to know that you are observing her weight and her body and are looking that closely. So yeah, I thought it was, hopefully it gets handled a little bit better, because I don't think that Garcelle handled that part of the situation very well. And I just get Erica out of there. She does not need to be commenting here at all. Well, that's pretty much it for this recap. Thank you, Rachna, for being here. If this is your first time joining us, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let us know what your thoughts are about how eating disorders have been dealt with. I did see at the end card there was an opportunity to get help. It might have been afforded to have a little bit of a trigger warning, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that would be triggered by what Crystal is experiencing, and how even Erica has approached her and all this stuff. So that could have been additive, but obviously it's really great to show some resources if people are experiencing what Crystal's been going through. So appreciate that. So like this video, and leave a comment on what you thought about this episode and anything that we didn't bring up that you want to touch on. Any final thoughts, Rachna?
This was fun. I miss doing this.
Aw, miss you too. We'll see you soon next week.
Bye.
Same time, same place.